Before this video starts, I just want to apologize. Some of the clips got a little bit corrupted and like strange. I don't really know what's going on. Luckily, they are still somewhat viewable and that sort of thing. But yeah, if you notice any weird visual glitches, it's probably because they are slightly corrupted. But anyway, let's get on with the video. Hello humans, I'm the Alien Doctor, but you can call me Alien, and welcome back to another video here, showcasing yet again another Minecraft Bedrock Edition beta. Today we're going to be taking a look at Bedrock Beta 1.17.40.20, and before we start, as you can see, my beta testing world seems to have undergone a little bit more corruption, as you can see right here. So yeah, there's some interesting stuff that's gone on there. But nevertheless, let's get into the video. So, as these videos often are, they will be split up into two sections. The first section will be going over the experimental features. These are features locked behind the caves and cliffs experimental toggle. This is similar to what you used to have on Java Edition with the experimental snapshot. Then the second part of this video will be going over 1.17 features that are not locked behind the caves and cliffs experimental toggle. These are features that will likely get implemented soon in a hotfix or update or something like that. So I was just flying around with the elytra to kind of, you know, try and find a couple of biomes. Like specifically, I was looking for one of the new biomes, and I flew above Y321. And as you can see here, I'm not in fly mode or anything. I'm not flying. You can see I'm jumping, and it's actually making the sound as I fall, as if I'm like jumping onto some ground or something. So there's like an invisible, like, yeah, there's an invisible barrier. Like, let's just try flying down. And then look, it stopped. That's so weird. And I didn't press spacebar or anything. So this is obviously a bug. There's some sort of invisible layer. I don't even know how I got up here. It's really, really strange. Yeah, look, I can even... What? I don't know what's going on. This is really strange. I suppose, what happens if I try TP the Alien Doctor, and then my current position, -10... current position. Okay. And yeah, and then what happens if I try flying up towards it? Look, I just stop at 319. And I can't go more higher than that. This is a really cool, but also strange bug. Also, this is pretty cool world gen, as you can see right here. We just got a little village kind of in a hole. Man, this update is so cool. So something else I've noticed is the render distance cap is actually at 40 chunks. I'm assuming this is just because they're working on performance. Normally I play on 32 chunk render distance, but my PC in normal releases can go all the way up to 80 chunk render distance. So I'm assuming they've just done that to actually make the game perform a lot better, because obviously this is a beta, and yeah, obviously performance is not going to be the best. But there is a known issue with this beta. So that known issue is that these things, bead nests, actually generate too often in the world. So obviously we've got one over there, we got one there, we got one over there. I saw another one in this area. Is there one? Yeah, there's one over there, one there, one there. So yeah, as you can see, bee nests are generating way too often in this beta, and that has been listed on the changelog as a known issue. So I will put an image on screen right now because I can't find it. However, a new biome has been added. This is a new mountain biome called the Stony Peaks. It's a variant of the lofty/snow-capped peaks that uses stone and gravel instead of snow and ice, and is used to avoid temperature classes such as snow-capped peaks sticking up from a jungle. So what I'm assuming from this is these sorts of things will generate in things like jungles and things like deserts, where it wouldn't make sense to have snow, and savannas. So another change that's been implemented is they have corrected vegetation in the mountain meadows. Dripstone clusters can only be found in the dripstone biome, so they have a dedicated biome. Now, because of the lack of spectator mode on Bedrock Edition, it makes it really hard for me to find these biomes. So as I say, what I'll do is I'll put videos on, or if I happen to find them later in the video, then I'll like put like a video. I'll put footage of it over as I'm speaking. But yeah, that's why I'm not always showing the biome, because it's a bit hard. But obviously, I do try my best to show at least a picture of the biome. but it just takes a lot of time to find these biomes because Bedrock Edition doesn't have spectator mode, which really begs the question, why doesn't Bedrock Edition have spectator mode? But anyway, so mountain biomes also have correct feature places to match the Java Edition side snapshot. I'm not quite sure what this means with features. It could mean anything. I don't think it means structures, which is what I first thought it did. However, that wouldn't make sense because surely they would have just mentioned structures, so I don't really know. Infested stone can also be found underneath the new mountain. So for an example, we've got this big mountain under here. If we like regenerated this world, because it's generated before that beta, then we would likely be able to find infested stone. And I believe this is somewhat similar to something that's already in the game. They've also tweaked the biome placement, including river size and terrain shapes for a better overworld experience. So, I mean, you can see here, I don't know if that counts as a river. However, you can see over here, this massive river has generated, which is really strange because I'm pretty sure this wasn't here before the beta, despite the fact that I had generated this area. But anyway, massive river, as you could see. And yeah, I came across a lot of these sorts of massive rivers as I was just flying through the world. So yeah, I would say that feature has been correctly implemented. If you want a comparison, over here is a more traditional-ish river, kinda. So clouds have actually been put up even higher. They're now on Y192. So if we're here at Y63, which is a pretty standard, just normal world height, you can see here, clouds are even higher at Y192, which could potentially be a reason as to why I encountered that bug earlier about there being an invisible sort of wall in the sky, but it also could not have been the reason. Who knows? So tweaked the mob spawning in mountain and cave biomes to match the Java Edition side snapshot. So that's just about how mobs spawn, and I'm unsure about whether that is the changes that involve the light levels. So it may be now that mobs need a light level, a really low light level to spawn, like that's been lowered. But I'm unsure whether that change has actually been implemented and whether the changelog is about that because it's very vague. So trees in swamps also generate slightly deeper when in water. Deep slate now generates at lower depths. Dripstone features now generate at deepstone depths. The placement logic of the small dripstone feature has been refactored. Frequency is similar, but exact positions will differ, and maps now correctly show the colors of block below a Y level of 0. So let's move on to some more interesting stuff, starting with Lush caves. And we've got a really nice Lush cave right here, as you can see. Just obviously, this is slightly glitched world generation because, well, yeah, slightly glitched world generation. But anyway, as you can see here, we've just got a really nice Lush cave right here, all open and very big, and look at all this water, wow. And there's a couple of changes with this. So it's to do with very specifically vines, and that is that the vines now generate in Lush caves instead of above the surface. And then also vines can now grow below a height level of 0. Previously, if you had vines placed below 0, they would not be able to grow. Now that beta has fixed this bug. So a change to do with villagers is that villagers will now generate with the correct style for the biome they're meant to be in. So obviously this is it's kind of on a bit of an island, but this is a plains village, and it has obviously generated as a plains village. Previously, you could get, like, you know, a plains village generating in like a tiger biome or something, which is obviously incorrect. So village types will now be correctly generated. Okay, and the next part of this video is going to be non-1.18 things and just general 1.17 bug fixes and that sort of thing. So falling stalactites, I'm always never sure if I'm saying that right, but anyway, falling stalactites will now properly offset to avoid interacting with entities outside of their intended hitbox. So yeah, they have like an offset thing when they fall, as you saw then. However, I couldn't help but notice it almost didn't look like they were falling in line with each other. I'm not sure if you saw that. But yeah, it didn't look quite right. Like, it looked like they were almost falling slanted, if that makes sense. But I'm not sure if that's intentional or not. And then beehives will now generate the world facing south. I don't know why that's a feature, but anyway. So a bug fix for mobile players now. Pressing the use button will consume the right amount of cake. Now, I am obviously playing on PC, so this doesn't affect me. But previously, if you'd press the use button on mobile, it would consume too much or too little. I'm assuming too much cake. So obviously now that has been fixed, and I'm on PC, so it never really affected me. But yeah, that was a bug in previous versions, which has now been fixed. So to do with character creator, they have not only fixed a crash to do with it, and obviously we've got this new sort of UI. Now, something else that they have changed is they've also, when they first implemented this new UI for the character creator, if you press these 3 dots, these name things weren't actually proper. However, now they are, so you can actually see like my characters, character skins, classic skins, emotes, and capes. So they've tweaked the color tint for default Steve's skin to match default Steve. Yeah, that's a bit confusing. Also, his head is that's weird. His head is rotated a little bit, isn't it? Is he meant to? He's wow. Okay, well his head is. That must be painful. I mean, how far can he go? Okay, well, anyway, that's a strange little, mildly painful for Steve bug. Oh, hang on, he's fixed himself. Oh, no, he's back to normal. Well, I don't know. I'm just not going to question it. So they fixed a bug to do with nether portals. So in previous versions, if you had lava underneath the nether portal, then you'd get set on fire. Oh, the chicken just died. Oh, there's multiple chickens in here. Hello. Well, anyway, in previous versions, if you had lava underneath a nether portal, then when you would actually go through that nether portal, you'd get set on fire, which is a nasty bug if you're running from the nether on 1 heart or something. So Seagrass is no longer going to generate underneath lilies to avoid breaking them. In previous versions, Seagrass could generate underneath lilies, which obviously could cause the lily pads to actually break, whereas now that bug has been fixed. Although I can't help but notice, right? Look, you can have both on like the same block, kind of. But anyway, that's a bug that's been fixed. So there's a bug fix to do with villagers, where villagers will no longer spam open and close doors. So previously they were actually able to spam open and close doors. Obviously, because this bug has been fixed, we're not going to see that now. But yeah, previously they would be able to just spam a door, kind of like I am doing right now. Yeah, that's been fixed, although it was quite an entertaining bug. Something else that has happened with villagers is that the cartographers now more consistently give new maps on all platforms. So Amethyst geodes are now much less likely to generate in strongholds, and if they do, they will not destroy the end portal. Obviously, this was previously a bug, and yeah, this would obviously happen in rare occasions previously. Now it doesn't happen. However, it looks like it can still happen because it does say Amethyst geodes are now much less likely, which doesn't mean it's impossible. So do let me know in the comment section if you happen to find a seed that does actually break, or just have an Amethyst geode that generates over a stronghold where the portal is. So more mobs will now spawn underground in the overworld. So this means the mob cap has basically been increased for obviously underground spawns, because there is cave spawns and then there's the surface spawns, and they both have separate mob caps in Bedrock Edition. So obviously that's now been increased, or at least the cave one has. And other than a couple of user interface things, that's pretty much it. One thing to point out is that in this beta, Render Dragon, which is the new-ish, but not really that new anymore, rendering engine, has been implemented in mobile versions of the game. Now, this is good-ish, kind of, because Render Dragon basically stops you from having any third-party shaders. So on Bedrock Edition, on Windows 10, the only form of shaders that we've been able to use is ray tracing and like RTX because of Render Dragon. Now, that's going to be the same on mobile, except for mobile obviously isn't going to have ray tracing or RTX because, well, no phone has an RTX graphics card. So, yeah, that is obviously going to be kind of a concern. So, unfortunately, if you are a mobile player and you do like using shaders, you're not going to be able to. So in the description, I've linked a Minecraft feedback post about adding third-party shaders back into Render Dragon, or into Render Dragon in the first place. so that we can actually have that. If you don't know what Render Dragon is, it's just a new fancy rendering engine for Bedrock Edition. But other than that, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you ever so much for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe today to join the Alien Empire. I'll see you in the next video coming soon. Bye.